Oscar, Oscar, Oscar. I guess you never learned to play catch because you dropped the ball on this one. For your consideration, I would like to nominate Joan Crawford as Best Actress in the 1946 film Humoresque. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, aside from Joan, the film also stars John Garfield and Oscar Levant. So, Humoresque tells the story of Paul Bourret, played by John Garfield. And Paul is this very gifted violin virtuoso. And thanks to his friend Sid, played by Oscar Levant, he makes the acquaintance of Helen Wright, played by Joan Crawford. And let me tell you, Helen got some shoulder pads with a wingspan wider than a Boeing B-52. Girl can fly to Europe and back and not ever have to stop for gas. But the thing you need to know about Helen, aside from her gigundo shoulder pads, is that she is very wealthy, very married, and always very drunk. Helen, girl, put the brandy down. But she's intrigued with Paul, and she ends up getting him all the right connections in the music world, and before you can play Flight of the Bumblebee, he is on his way to fame. Since this is a melodrama, you know everything gonna go to hell in a handbasket, and this whole relationship turns toxic quicker than a Britney Spears music video. In other words, Paul wants to have his cake and eat it too, but the love for his violin will always come first, and unfortunately, that leads up to a very devastating conclusion. Now, John Garfield is in about 90% of this film, and Joan doesn't really enter the picture until about almost 30 minutes in, and overall she has a little over an hour of screen time. Now, don't get me wrong, John Garfield is good in this movie, but this is Joan's picture, and she was also like hot off the heels of winning the Oscar the previous year for Mildred Pierce, so she is in full glam mode here. What I love about Joan's performance is how she layers Helen's attraction to Paul. So it goes from curiosity to admiration to infatuation, and then like this obsessive love that just sort of threatens to consume them both. Joan just delivers her lines with this consummate professionalism. There's a scene with Helen and Paul, and Helen confesses to him that she was married twice, once at 16, once at 21. One was a crybaby, and one was a caveman. Between them both, I said goodbye to my girlhood. Who says that anymore? My God, that's just... And I mean, coming out of Joan's mouth, it was just like pitch perfect. And then we have this ending. Sweet baby Jesus. It is so tragic that Madonna actually pays homage to it in her music video for The Power of Goodbye. But the whole movie is pure melodrama, and in Joan's hands, it is utterly heartbreaking. And you want to know what else is heartbreaking? The Academy just doing tequila shots instead of nominating this performance. And you know what I gotta say to that? Go home, Oscar. You drunk. Drunker than Helen, bitch.